Hello, this is Tracy, and I wanted to come to you today and give you some insight about cc's versus cup size. So, before I was even diagnosed with breast cancer, I had no idea about cc's when it came to breast implants. So I did find out when I went to my plastic surgeon that the implants that you get are measured by cc's. So you wouldn't go into your plastic surgeon and say, I want to be a C cup, or I want to be a full B, or something like that. There is no straight conversion from a cup size to cc's. There's a lot of dependencies. So a few that I know of, and there's probably others that I don't, a few dependencies are your height, your weight, and then also, when you're getting a mastectomy, whether it's single or double, how much breast tissue that they have to go in and take out. So some people, and I think in my case this happened, is when they went to get the breast tissue out, they had to, it sounds kind of gross, but they kind of had to dig a little bit. So it wasn't like when they went to put the tissue expanders in before I get the implants, they weren't laying flat on my chest. So there might have been some tissue that they had to dig into. So a lot of that has to do with the cc's to cup size as well. So it's going to be really different for a lot of people. It might be somewhat similar with height, weight, if you can find somebody with similar, measurements as you. Which I was able to get a little bit of an insight from some of the groups that I'm part of, the private Facebook groups, when people would talk about their height and their weight and then what size they were. So I knew going in what size I was, cup size, and I knew that I wanted to be a lot lower, so I knew what cup size, I thought I knew what cup size that I was okay with. But what they do is with the tissue expanders, they continue to add usually it's every 2 to 3 weeks, they'll add more of the saline solution and build you out. And then you tell them, and it's more based on not necessarily the shape, because they are kind of wonky, kind of funky, but more about the projection, so how far out they are as to where you're comfortable. So for, I would say, the first 3 or 4 fills that I had, I felt like a boy. I felt like either a boy or a very young girl, going into puberty, because I didn't feel like I had much protection. And it wasn't until a little bit later when I felt like I had more of that, and you could see. But also for me, since I was so big before, I'll be wearing a lot smaller shirt sizes than I was before. So that has a difference. So I would wear 1, sometimes 2X shirts. And now, this is an extra large that I'm wearing. Kind of stand back. It has a lot of room in it. So I could probably, once my stomach, the swelling goes down a little bit more, I will probably be able to wear a large, which will be the first time in a long time for me because I had really, really big breasts. So I wanted to share with you a way that you can kind of figure out, I did figure out my conversion from my cc's to what my cup size was, because eventually if I want to stop wearing the sports bras, I know a lot of people don't wear one. I don't know that I'll ever be comfortable with that. I'm just always so used to it. But if I wanted to get into a regular bra, it may or may not work. So I wanted to talk to you and let you know how you can figure out what your cup size is. And if you ever go to a store and have them measure you for your bra size, I'll tell you what the trick is and kind of how they do it if you don't know. So this is a little measuring tape that I got from the crafts and sewing section of Meijer. It's a grocery store. It's like a combo, one-stop shop kind of place. But I got this in their craft sewing area, and it was all folded up, and it was only a couple bucks. So what you basically do is you take this and you wrap it around underneath where your breasts are, and you figure out what your measurement is there. So in my case, my measurement is actually, I had done this beforehand, so I know. My measurement is actually a 38. But what's interesting is you want to actually do this measurement, and this is really for anybody buying a bra, not even breast cancer related. Think about that, and as you go into the store, you may not necessarily wear the exact size around your rib cage underneath your breast. So mine's a 38, but for the most part, I'll wear a 40 or 42 in size-wise, and maybe that has something to do with the stretch as well. So you take that measurement underneath, And then you take it like in the middle, you know, where your nipple would be, in my case, where it would be, and you measure around here, like at the midpoint of your breast, and what that measurement is. So in my case, it was a 42, so currently. So 38 and 42. So what you do is you deduct those. So 42 from 38 is 4. And I had found a table, if you Google it, I can't remember exact terms I Googled, but basically a difference of 1 is an A cup, a difference of 2 is a B, 3 is a C, 4 is a D. So I am currently a D cup. Interesting thing though, I tried on a D cup bra. I had ordered a couple different sizes before I was done with my expanders to make sure, kind of get an idea. So I ordered a D cup bra, tried it on. There's a little tiny bit extra material like on the end, so it's not really a full D, but I was done. Like I was fine with how I looked. So I don't know, I might never wear a regular bra again. If I do, you know, it'll either have that material, or as many of you ladies know, that just because it's one certain size for one one model of a bra doesn't mean that another one wouldn't fit right, or a different style or something like that. So that's how you figure out what your cup size is. And as I mentioned, the CCs will be very dependent on things like your height, your weight, how much breast tissue they took out, so how far the pocket is that they have to put the implant in. So there's no direct CC to cup size, but you can measure, especially as you're going along with tissue expanders, you can measure and kind of get an idea of, you know, where your cup size might be. And then also, like I mentioned, I bought a couple different sizes through Amazon and tried them on, kind of see how they fit if I wanted to go that route later on. Right now I'm really comfortable wearing the sports bras. They're very, very comfortable. And not having to go into the office every day because of the pandemic, I've been able to do this and not have to wear a more formal shirt. So we'll see how that goes in the future. But I hope that's helpful. The one thing that's really helped me, as I mentioned, is in the private Facebook groups where people talked about CC size and what cup size, and they talked about their height and the weight and all that kind of thing. So I could get an idea, but again, it's not always going to look the same, be the same, all of that. So it's all, you know, as you go and kind of measure and how you feel along the way. So I hope that's helpful and that you have a good day. Bye.